You know, public indecency. Is that a criminal charge? You know, I remember back in the 90s growing up, you know, when I used to watch The Simpsons at prime time television, you know. It was a lot of things. You know, we had discretion, we had integrity. You know, they used to wait till after 5 or 6 o'clock to start playing the grown-up shows and things like that. You know, there was integrity. Public, you know, there was no, you know, they were careful with the way that they spoke on TV. They didn't really have a whole bunch of curse words and things like that, you know. We even had the 5 to 10 minutes versus of commercials between episodes and all that types of stuff. So I remember all these things vividly, you know, the old TVs with the knobs, and, you know, you had to hit the side of the TV to make it act right. Sometimes some of these people act like you gotta smack them on their side of their head and make it seem like, you know, to put things back into perspective with them. They need a hard reset. You know, I don't advocate violence, never would. But, you know, our parents used to smack our behind sometimes. You know, pain and embarrassment are some of the greatest teachers. You know, people are still out wearing bonnets and people are still out dressing half naked. You know, we don't use our constitutional rights. We don't practice, you know, our public servant duty. You know, we wait till things get out of control, and then the police that we spend our tax dollars on have to come in and, you know, modify the situation or augment the situation whatever way they feel, however their lunch made them feel that afternoon. But public indecency, isn't that a charge? Didn't like Marilyn Monroe or Madonna or Cher, didn't these people get in trouble back in the days for trying to go out in the middle of public naked? Now people are so intoxicated by sex videos, that whole Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian movement. That's where a lot of this stuff stems from too. It wasn't just Britney Spears dancing around as a freaking high school student talking about I'm a slave for you. And even then, 17 years ago, I had little Indian 90-pound girls, foreigners, trying to get upset at me because I said something about Britney Spears. Like, this is how far the indoctrination spreads across the world. Like, it's insane. It's crazy. I think my little cousin. Island man. Why y'all do? I'm gonna huh? Nah.
Then she said she about to call you. She got somebody coming to the house, but she wants to grab something. I just told her I was on the way to work, but she said she's gonna call you.
All right, well, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm gonna hit you up on IG later. Yeah, so crazy. I didn't even say I'm gonna call you. I said I'm gonna hit you up on IG later. And see, the younger generation, you know, these are things that the younger generation, like even me, like people of my age, they'll stand around me and be like, oh, do you have a job, or what do you do, and all these things. Don't worry about how I make my money. There's several ways in this new era of technology to make money. So, you know, these kids don't even have cell phone service providers anymore. They're using freaking WhatsApp. They know they have 5G connection and Wi-Fi in every freaking fast food restaurant. So they don't even take the time to spend the extra $50, $60, or $200. See, even people my age, they get so cool to have an iPhone and all the fanciest phones. You got 4, 5 cameras on your phone, but it take you an extra 5, 10 seconds to freaking take a photo. Like, so it's they're not wasting their money on things like that. That's why you find 14, 15-year-old investors coming out of high school that already have $20,000, $30,000 stock portfolios. They've been trading and selling Nikes all through their high school. But even just the public decency, and the reason why, you know, it's good for young boys to start off and do something, because again, they won't have that opportunity to have excuses. Women can have as many excuses as they want. But when it's time for a man to perform a man can't have an excuse. His lady's not gonna look at him like, oh, I accept your excuse. His mom, his dad, his grandma, no one's gonna look at him like, oh, why are you a 40-year-old bum that has nowhere to live and you're asking people for $1 and all these different things. On my way home from the mall yesterday, I see another thing. We struggle with these things when it comes to being empathic. And people take your kindness for weakness. And you're being over generous and you're donating to every single person, homeless person that passes you by. And then they see you on a regular basis and they think that they can just take your energy from you. Just keep taking your life from you. We don't burn up dollar bills in this country. We don't crumble them up and throw them in the garbage. You know how long a dollar bill circulates? That energy is infinite. You worked hard for it. You put sweat equity into it, whatever you had to do to get it. So it's like when women out here trying to scheme men out of their monies and things like that. And people wonder why they get out of a relationship and then every relationship in life is messed up. Yes, God will allow you to torment his angels. And guess what? When time is up, you won't get equal judgment. You'll get 3 to 10 times worse. So yeah, you think it's cool to play with a young man while you're in high school for a year or two, and then you wonder why for the next 10, 20 years of your life, you can't get a good relationship because you don't play or toy with people. And energy is serious. Some people have way more magnetic energy than you. Just like you'll see a little dog not gonna drop an F-bomb, beat the crap out of a big dog. That's because sometimes a smaller dog has more spirit. So when you mess and play with people's spirit or energy or their descendants or their ancestors, it's like being jumped by a gang. But it's not just 30, 50 people. It's generations and generations worth of karma that has to be paid back or wiped clean. But you're alive in this moment, so you're gonna feel it in this moment in your life. That's why they say sometimes the man's seed or the man's sins can spoil his seed and follow his generation. Men don't wonder why they're going crazy. Stop taking advantage of women. Women don't wonder why they are going crazy. Stop taking advantage of men. Again, you can be a mastermind when it comes to doing something bad or evil or what you're not supposed to be doing. But when it comes to doing something right, at least something to better yourself, jog around the park at least an hour a day. You don't have to do it every single day, but you acting like you can't even do it half the time. And when the zombie apocalypse come, you're not gonna be in shape. You think it's funny, you think it's a game. See, I can turn a serious conversation into a game and make it funny that quick. You simply won't even get in shape. So when the zombie apocalypse comes and every man for himself, boy. It's like being the last one and the Publix line or the last one being served at a restaurant, or being in Disney World and being the last one in those long football field lines. When are you gonna take the time to better yourself and give yourself a better fighting chance? And it's not all about relationships. You can't ask for something that you can't even provide for somebody. Love or money or insight or whatever the case may be like. Man. But to close it out, because we're coming up on 8.5 minutes, it's the nakedness of it all. It's like, what if men really wanted to be nefarious? Because you have the whole Me Too movement, and women don't act like you know what you're doing, because we've been having this whole this bonnet conversation isn't new. This bonnet conversation is a year, 2 years old. Bonnets, again, are supposed to be used for the shower, I think. It's some type of nighttime cap, but you're wearing it out in broad daylight. Like, do you know what you're doing? And again, it all trickles down to how people perceive you and how people are going to treat you and the things you're allowed. You know, there's a reason there's a dress code in the club. They don't allow men only in Georgia they do this. They don't allow men in a nightclub with white tees on. In a sophisticated club here in Miami, they don't allow you in a club with sneakers on. Like, again, it's a time and a place. If men really wanted to be smart, since women always want to be out and always be in our faces, we can really start Me Tooing you. Because you know what you're doing at this point on purpose. Every single dress in your closet is too small or too skimpy, or you think it fit just right, or this way, it make my ass stick out this much and now I can walk. You're literally walking around all day pulling your skirt down. Like, you want to tell me to put on a shirt, but you're literally walking around all day like this trying to pull your skirt down every 10 to 20 seconds. Count them, guys. Look at it. But this is something that they practiced while they were in a mirror before they left the house. This is intentional, right? Pre, whatever you want to call it. Use the law term. This is coercion. This is misdirection. So you want to talk about a Me Too? This is what you turn the world into. Now a man can't simply walk up to you like your father or your grandfather did your mother or your grandmother, and they live happily ever after, for however long they held their marriage together for 40, 50 years. But you'll never get that happiness to be able to, you can't even hold a relationship together for 2 years. So it's like, again, we all have to learn. We are all learning. It's better for me to keep my distance. You know, I've had my time. I've had my fun and my relationships and all those things. And my whole journey started 7 years ago. The whole reason I even got into a relationship is because I thought I was gonna die. I had a liver transplant. Did I ever mention this on camera? That one of the only reasons why I decided to take a woman serious. And this isn't something that I just sprung on her. I felt like I was gonna die. 10 years after my surgery, still taking all these medications and pills that's making me break out, that's giving me all these issues with my life. I.e., I can't even get up in the morning to go to work, or I can't even go outside because I'll start breaking out. Like, I can't even touch the same doorknob as people. So you guys think that using Purell and mask is the norm now? No, I was doing that 17 years ago. This isn't something new. The Asians have been wearing masks for 20 years. Again, they built up so much in industry in their country in such a small time. And you see it in New York. The smog is all in the air. So this isn't new. Masks wasn't just sprung out of nowhere. All right, I'm shooting the video. I'll call her when I get off my phone. So that's usually what it is. That's what it usually comes to. And when it comes to, you know, women doing things like that, they should stop doing things like that. You're digging a hole, what we call digging a hole, or burying yourself, or hanging yourself. Like you're putting yourself in the worst situation that you're gonna have to dig yourself out of at the end of the day. And the wiser people are gonna start looking at you like you're crazy. But anyways, have a good day. You be safe. Catch you on the next one. She's still